Good swing, Gator. Keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on it.
Let's go. Get ready, Gator. Let's go.
Location.
Let's go, Gator.
Let's go, Gator. Gator, watch, Gator. Gator, watch you, Gator. Let's go. You got this. Let's go, Gator. Go, five.
Run it. Come on.
Welcome to softball, everybody. It is a beautiful day at Bankers Field here in the nation's capital for day 2 of softball at the 6th edition of the Bahamas Games. And let me tell you, it has been a game so far. On the field, we have Exuma Navigators taking on Grand Bahama Family, the women's fast pitch taking place. It was a great first inning for Grand Bahama, scoring 6 runs in that first inning. The pitcher for Exuma Navigators giving up 6 runs there. And now here we are at the top of the second inning. Latoya Johnson on the mound for Exuma Navigators. And let me tell you, it has been a great game so far for Grand Bahama. And the rules apply in this one, ladies and gentlemen. 5 innings. They will go 75 minutes. And their mercy rule will apply after the third, 10 after 3, 7 after 4. And so Grand Bahama making things happen early there. You see Larika Russell coming in, a veteran player there. And on the mound for Grand Bahama, Latoya Johnson. At the plate now for Exuma Navigators, Latira Brown. Let's see what she can do. The pitch, and it is called a strike. Grand Bahama having a great first inning, as mentioned. There's the pitch and a hit over to the third base. Will she get the throw? And was not catched. So Latira Brown now on first base for Exuma Navigators. In the batter's box now, Shaquila Clark with a runner on first. They'll be looking to get a double play here. That one's called a strike. Strike 2 on the outside for Latoya Knowles. Here comes the pitch, a swing and a miss. And she goes down swinging. Runner still on first base. Zena Williams now in the batter's box for the Navigators. Grand Bahama now playing for 2. And the pitch, a swing and a miss. And Latoya Knowles is one of those seasoned pitchers for Grand Bahama, has been playing the game for, well, I'm 30, so she's been doing it for over a decade, and we'll leave it at that. That one is fouled off. But I do remember as a child on the park, as a great pitcher for Grand Bahama, has played in a number of round robins and national tournaments. And so a lot of experience on Grand Bahama's team. Here's the pitch to Exuma. The throw over to first to get the out. 2 outs now for Grand Bahama. That'll be 3 outs. There you see Desmond Russell having a chat with the Grand Bahama family. Coach Desmond Russell. as the Navigators will now head to the field, going now to the bottom of the second inning. Grand Bahama leading this one, as mentioned, 6-0. They were able to come out on top during their first appearance at the plate. Latoya Johnson for the Navigators giving up 6 runs. And Grand Bahama's bats have been coming around, and some missed throws and a few errors resulting in this score. And ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, the mercy rule is in effect. They will play 75 minutes or 5 innings, and it is 10 after 3 innings or 7 after 4. So Grand Bahama may close this one out early. But it is a beautiful day for softball here at Bankers Field in the nation's capital for day 2. Lots of great games played yesterday between men's and women's fast pitch. We'll get an update on those results. The pitch by Johnson. Inside for a ball. Katisha Aubrey now in the batter's box for Grand Bahama. Count now 1-1. Katisha Aubrey scored one of the first runs for Grand Bahama during her first appearance. That's a pop fly into left field, and she will get, there she goes taking off. Will she get the third base bag? Yes, she does. Great heads up running there by Aubrey. That's how they were able to get these runs on the board so quickly. Like I said, missed throws and dropped balls. And so 6-0 Grand Bahama in favor of Grand Bahama over Exuma. Tara Evans in the batter's box now with the runner on third. Pitch by Johnson. That one is on the inside. Tara Evans, also a experienced player for Grand Bahama. That one also inside. I'll also have to mention that a lot of these women have not played softball in quite some time. Fast pitch softball at that, and so great to see them back on the field, and I'm sure they're loving it. And she will get the first base bag, 4 balls. In the batter's box now for Grand Bahama, Kenya Forbes with runners on first and third. Here comes the pitch. That one is on the outside for a strike. Johnson winding up. Here comes the pitch. That one on the outside again. The count now 2-1. The pitch. She swings at it. It's that one high in the air. Foul ball. She will move to 2-2. Two runners on base for Grand Bahama. Evans on first. Aubrey on third. The pitch. A swing and a miss. She goes down swinging. Great pitch there by Johnson to get Kenya Forbes swinging. That is her second strikeout of the game. A wild pitch there will bring another run in home for Grand Bahama. Score now 7-0 here at the bottom of the second. That is a great pitch on the outside corner. In the batter's box for Grand Bahama, Jasmine Scavella. Count now 1-1. The pitch by Johnson. Scavella watches it, a high ball. Fans showing up early on the park for this game, which started shortly after 9 a.m. and they're loving what they're watching so far. A swing and a miss. Count now 2-2 on Scavella. Let's see what she does here. Johnson winding up. Here comes the pitch. Hit down the left field side. Umpire says it's foul ball. A lot of work happening on the field early this morning to get it ready for this first matchup between Grand Bahama family and Exuma Navigators. Tara Evans wanting to come home and bring in that run for Grand Bahama. Johnson with the pitch now. A swing and a miss, and she goes down swinging on a fastball on the outside corner. So it's Latoya Johnson against Latoya Knowles. Both pitches there. Latoya Johnson recording another strikeout for the game. That'll bring up Jamise Roker. Hit to the second baseman. She's unable to get it. She will go over to second. That'll bring in a run for Grand Bahama. So Roker getting a double on that hit and an RBI. Exuma now playing for 1. Grand Bahama now has 8. And Roker. Good heads up base running, and now over to third. And now in scoring position for Grand Bahama. Catcher for Exuma Navigators having a word with her pitcher. That is Nishka curling and wiping her face. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not kid you when I say that it is pretty hot on Bakersfield today. And so the quicker the innings, the better it is for the players. Get out of that heat to make some things happen. In the batter's box now for Grand Bahama, Tamika Davis. She struck out during her first appearance. Let's see what she does here. The pitch by Johnson. Called on the outside. Strike. Count now 1-1 on Davis. The pitch. She swings and miss for strike 2. the pitch by Johnson, looking to send this one back to the dugout, and she does. Got her swinging, and that will retire the side for Exuma Navigators. And that'll bring up Grand Bahama, scoring 2 runs in that inning to bring the score to 8-0 in favor of Grand Bahama over Exuma. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. We'll head to the top of the 3rd inning in favor of Grand Bahama, 8-0. They got on the board early. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more fast pitch softball here at Bankers Field Stadium.
For Jasmine on first base. For Jasmine on first base. That's the same position. Morel in right field for Tariqa. Morel. Try after me.
Welcome back to softball action here at Bankers Stadium. And I'm joined now by Marcellus Hall. A pretty hot day out there, but you're here.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed hot. Hot being, I almost feel like hot is not the right word. There has to be something beyond hot. I feel like I should say it in a different language, mucho caliente or something, because this right here makes no sense. It should not be this hot anywhere in the world, but apparently, God has graced us with this, and here we are. These kids out here playing softball, and I tip my cap and say, more power to you. I'll stay right where I am up in the announcer's booth here.
Absolutely, it is extremely hot out there.
Looks like we're on the lopsided affair here. So Grand Bahama's up 8-0 against Exuma, top of the 3rd inning. So you may have a mercy rule chance for Grand Bahama.
Most definitely. And just now, Nishka Curling coming up to bat for Exuma Navigators. And she's now on base. In the batter's box now is Yvette Munnings. We'll see what she does. Latoya Knowles, pretty experienced pitcher for Grand Bahama.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should be familiar with these Grand Bahama players. I mean, some of them may not have played in a while, but
I said it. They had to get some elbow grease and stuff to get ready for these games. But good to see them back.
Dry rot, but it's what it is. Big swing and a miss.
Count now 2-2. That one's hit high in the air.
Popped up right to the edge of the infield, caught by the shortstop.
Shortstop, that's Larica Russell right there. A veteran softball player.
Yeah, Larica's been around for a minute. Yeah, I heard the name. And again, that's what you do. You try to mix up a little veteran play with a little youth and hope that it sticks. That's pretty much how it works, especially if you have not played for a while. And in fast pitch softball, we saw, in particular last night with a lot of those games getting underway. A lot of difference. You saw some of the rust, some of the players who hadn't played in a while, and then take strike one there. But it has been, one of those situations where just glad to see softball back.
Absolutely.
But understanding that it's going to take a minute for these kids and these even the veterans now to get back into the group.
Absolutely. And a swing and a miss there by Petra Dowder.
She gets a quick good morning, good afternoon, good night. Head on back to the dugout. And who's next? Nothing ball game. Grand Bahama up big here against Exuma. Top of the third inning.
Grand Bahama came out early swinging. Their bats came around, scoring some 6 runs in the first inning. And that one's hit back to Latoya.
Misplays it off the glove. That could result in a runner, and it does. Little comeback to the pitcher, but couldn't quite handle it. And again, that's one of those things you talk about, Russ, because that's fairly routine play. Yeah.
Definitely.
Like she's telling the coach, they bounced up. Well, that's what balls do. They bounce up sometimes. So they got a little something brewing. Runners on first and second, just one away. Fastball in there for a strike. Grand Bahama trying to keep this thing a scoreless affair. Exuma trying to break through for the first time.
That
one's driven to the right side. Could be a base hit, and it is. We'll see how quick the runner is. She's going to try and go home, and she's going to make the play. And gets in there safely. Well, I didn't think she had a chance, to be honest with you. I was like, wait, what's happening here? Actually, both runners score. That's unbelievable to me because she did feel it out there in right field. I can't understand why both runners would have been able to score, but how about that? Exuma on the board here. Now an 8-2 ball game. I said we put up a score for Grand Bahama. That was actually Exuma.
Exuma, 8-2 ball game.
8-2. So don't be fooled by the score on your board. On the TV there, it's actually 8-2. Exuma trying to make a bit of a run here in the top half of the third. There we go. Can they keep going?
That one is on the inside, and difference from baseball, this one is only going 5 innings.
Yeah, 5 innings, 90 minutes. So that makes it a little faster.
Fairly
and of
quick.
course, the mercy rule comes into effect after the third. So, again, we haven't seen that actually too much in the tournament. Only last night in the game and the ladies' game later on.
That one hit back to Latoya.
This time she feels it. They'll try to get 2. And not quite in time. But 2 away now.
She's not happy about that. Yeah, she's walking back.
She's mad at the hitter because he's like, you got me doubled up. I did all this running. I'm still out. What?
Noel's having a smile out there. Looks like she's having a time. But good to see her back on the mound. I haven't seen her probably since I was 18, 19 years old.
Wow. So I was just saying last night, I was saying that I hope now that these athletes have had a chance to reacquaint themselves with the game, that hopefully this sparks fast pitch to resume. Because during COVID, everything shut down. And since then, nobody's really bounced back. But hopefully now in the family islands in particular, Grand Bahama might do it, but some of those family islands like the Long Islands with Pedro Marcelo and all those other people, we'll see them next actually. But hopefully those islands will now take the opportunity to restart their fast pitch leagues, and we'll see a resurgence of play.
Absolutely. We have a lot of feeder programs going on in Grand Bahama, a lot of youth getting into the fast pitch softball, and so hopefully that will spread throughout the family islands, and we can get some things going.
Yeah. And if last night was any indication, the fan support is there. Last night they had a full house. I kind of figured it would be that way with softball. Maybe some of the other sports might struggle with fan attendance, but softball always has a good crew.
Always. It's a competition between, track, basketball, and softball, which is the sport of the Bahamas. But but definitely fast pitch softball, you're going to have a good crowd.
Yeah. Always a good draw. 0-1 the count to the hitter. Pops it up to the outfield, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Shallow center field. Runner's going to try to go to third. That's going to be offline on the throw. She's going to try and score here. Goes all the way around to throw to home plate. And the catcher does not field it, and she's going to be safe.
So Exuma able to rally here in the top of the
You see
third to get some
excitement in
scores on
dugout?
the
They're
board.
like, hey, look at this. We got a chance. Oh, wow.
Great stuff happening for Navigators right now. They were almost down and out from the first and second inning, but right back in this thing now.
8-3.
Only needing
Just
5
like
runs
that.
to tie things up.
Well, I like how you say only. You know, that's very optimistic of you. I love it.
Anything can happen.
Yes,
I'm
anything
the
can
optimist.
indeed. Yes. Here on the side of the glass half full. That's it. I love it. Want to know the count?
Latoya Knowles has been having a pretty consistent pitching games thus far. Haven't thrown that many wild pitches. And so Exuma bats are now able to come around as she's putting it down the heart of the plate.
Yeah, and sometimes fatigue starts to come in now. This is where that sun starts to beat down on you. The game's going a little longer. And now you start to lose that release point. And I've seen a couple of balls bounce in there. You got to run at third base, so you got to be careful.
That's a strike.
On the outside corner.
That was the challenge we were seeing with baseball. When you get down to that third and fourth inning, the fatigue starts to set in, the pitcher starts to struggle, and the coach has to come out now and change things up. And so I wonder if that'll be the same case with softball.
Tell you what, I felt really bad for those catchers in baseball because that one's driven through 4 base hits, going to score another run. And Exuma continues to charge here now, 8-4. They've cut the lead in half. Still going here with 2 outs. So whatever adjustments those hitters have made, starting to pay off now. They've seen the pitcher a couple of times and now able to get some solid contact. We're still at the top of the third inning. Just when you thought it might be over, Grand Bahama had an 8-0 lead, now 8-4. Inside, ball 1. Grand Bahama just trying to get this final out. They've been on 2 outs for a while. Sometimes 2 outs might as well be none.
Giving up that many runs.
Yeah. See, that's why you got to get 3, right? It takes 3 to get us off the field.
Pitch by Knowles. That one is high.
Spurgeon Johnson, the umpire behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes today. That one gets away. Runner's going to advance on down to second. Is that TD? It is indeed TD playing for Exuma. She is actually an Exuma girl. Black Point crew in the house.
And Grand Bahama desperately needs to make something happen here to get out of this inning. They don't need any more mistakes or this could spell trouble here at the top of the third.
A generous call on the outside half. For a strike. 3-2 now. Base it on ball 4 if you hit him. Drives it to the outfield. Could be trouble. Drops in again for a hit. And TD holds up. Now she's going to try to score. And gets in there. Surprised they held her in the first place.
I think the outfielders are playing a little bit too deep, and that's what's causing them right now. That's the second ball that was able to drop in.
Yeah,
there.
Shallow outfield. It should have been what I would think traditionally an out. But they're respecting the power without maybe knowing the hitters, maybe giving them a little bit too much cushion. And now just like that, 8-5, timeout called. That's Sydney coming out to have a word with his pitcher and trying to settle her down. They just need 1 out. But they've needed that 1 out for a while here. So
absolutely.
that was 5 runs ago. And now they got to figure out something.
So they're going to leave Knowles in there and tell her, listen, get this out. We need it.
Eight 8-5 is our score. Top of the third inning. Grand Bahama.
And the runner on second for
they still got to run in scoring position here.
Navigators. So as I said, right back in this thing.
Yeah, like you said, it ain't over until it's over. You're right. Only 5 runs apparently. That's what's 5 runs these days? So let's see if Exuma can continue the charge here. Certainly, if nothing else, they've given themselves hope. If they get out of this inning here, even if they don't score another run, they figure the rest of the way. If we can get a couple of stops in the bottom half of the third and come right back up to hit again. Right about here, if you're Grand Bahama, you're starting to watch the clock, right? Just let time run out before they catch us,
Absolutely.
and then we'll end this game.
She's taking her time on the mound.
Yeah.
That's
and that one's driven to the left side and out of play.
Exuma bats are definitely coming around. It did not look like this in the first inning, but now they're swinging and they're making contact.
Softball starting to look like a beach ball right about here. You're seeing it. And a big swing comes up empty.
Took a little something off that one. Got her swinging way before the pitch reached.
A little trickery. Fooled by you. 0-2 now. She's in command. Can she finish her off? That's the question here as they try to get out of this inning.
And you see here, there's no quick pitching. She's taking her time out there, obviously battling that heat.
Yeah, and you can see, you know when it's hot because the umpire took his cap off. He's trying to cool off out there. The umpire's like, man, listen, can we just get this? Let's drop there. That's not going to help either. Got to bend down to pick that ball up. 0-2 now. One more strike to get yourself out of trouble. Exuma has broke through for 5 runs, trying to look for more.
Right
Come back into the pitcher. She's going to make sure of the throw.
Take her time and throw that over there.
Like,
we need to get out of this
I'm
inning.
not even going. I'm going to get. I have to get 2 feet away from you to make sure. So finally, they get out of the inning. The top half of the third is done, but not before Exuma scores 5 runs. We'll go to the bottom of the third, and all of a sudden, we got ourselves a ball game. Grand Bahama still up by 3, but they're coming back to the plate to try and get some more runs, and we'll see what happens.
And the challenge has been for the Navigators has also been feeling the ball and able to make those plays and throws. And so anything that Grand Bahama is able to put on the infield or outfield is pretty much they're on base. And so they're going to have to make some corrections in the outfield and infield to keep Grand Bahama at 8. So we'll see if that happens as they head to the field now at the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and you can see the difference. Look at the body language now for Exuma.
They're alive.
They feel, it's like, listen, all right, we're in this thing. They're feeling pretty good coming out there. At least the young players are. The older ones are taking their time. They're like, listen, I've been here before. I'm going to take my time getting out this dugout. No rush for me. Early morning session here, just after 10 a.m. at the Bankers Field. Activities here in the second day of softball at the Blue Hills playing field. If you're just joining us, ladies matchup, Grand Bahama up against Exuma. Grand Bahama jumped out to an 8-0 lead early on, seemed to be in full command until the top of the third where we saw Exuma get the bats going, able to score 5 times to make it 8-5, which is where we stand now. Moving into the bottom half of the inning. Grand Bahama up to the plate now. They'll try to get some of those runs back, but let's see if the momentum has indeed shifted here. And here's the leadoff right here.
So Liberty Thompson at the back. She bunts for Grand Bahama.
Bunt down.
She get on, and umpire says she's out of there.
She's out, yeah. So tried to put the bunt down. The pitcher able to field it. Throw it over in time. 1 up, 1 gone. So that's just what the doctor ordered so far for Exuma. If you can get 3 quick outs here without giving up the run, you feel like you can come back and do something offensively.
Absolutely. If it's those 1, 2, 3s that they get, they can come back and make something happen and potentially and perhaps walk away with this game.
Yeah, you talked about execution. We saw it just now, executing the play. 3 things got to happen when they drop the bunt, right? The fielder's got to feel it, you got to pick it up, you got to throw it, and the other guy's got to catch it. And it happened just right. There are no sure outs, that's for sure.
That's, Kyla Knowles in now for DH Michelle Gator. And this will be Kyla's first look at Johnson pitching for Exuma Navigators.
See my good friend Andrew Burrows suiting up. Must be getting ready to call next.
That one is a ball.
Normally I'd be out there umpiring with these guys, but I'm gonna leave that to them this time. They can battle that sun.
You're in the end. Well, you don't have AC, but you got
I see Wayne Basin gave me a look just now. He's like, Wayne Basin also will be calling these games here this morning. It is not an easy task, let me tell you. And a lot of times the umpires, that one shot over to the second baseman. Nice
Great
play.
Field.
Two
Okay,
up, down.
so
I'll tell you.
Exuma.
Yeah, like we said, maybe that feeling of getting some runs on the board, you can see they're more focused than two quick outs here.
Absolutely, and so great stop there by the second baseman for Exuma. That is Shaquila Clark doing her thing. And Grand Bahama now back to the top of the lineup.
That's in there for a strike. The entire demeanor of this Exuma team has changed after getting back into this game. Now only down by 3.
And Larika Russell now in the batter's box for Grand Bahama, a very seasoned player.
Yeah, Marika still plays here in the New Providence Softball Association, and she's now down in the count, 0-2. The last thing you want to do if you grab Bahama is go down 1-2-3 here. You want to jump right back onto that field after such a long top of the frame.
Absolutely.
Ground ball to short.
Shortstop.
Throw over to first base. And she can't hold on to it. So close to getting out of it. 1-2-3. Man.
Close. That was pretty close, and it's not a good thing when you make those those errors when you just have one out, because you had an opportunity to retire the side, and now you never know what's going to happen here. They could get some more runs on the board. And
we just saw that in the top of the inning with 2 outs, and they couldn't get that last 5 runs later, right? Yeah. So that could come back to haunt you. Strike 1. We're in the bottom half of the third. 2 away for Grand Bahama. Pops it up to the left side, and nobody there to make the catch. Again, we talked about Larika thinks about going home and throw to the infield. But we just talked about playing too deep there, and that was a case of it. I thought that should have been an out. Shallow infield, shallow outfield. Either the shortstop or the left fielder should have been in position to make that catch.
And now Grand Bahama now at the heart of their lineup.
And we welcome our live viewers here on the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. We are in the midst of a battle between Grand Bahama and Exuma, getting you all caught up. Grand Bahama jumped out 8-0 early in the ball game. Top of the third, Exuma finally gets on the scoreboard to the tune of 5 runs, and that's where we stand right now, 8-5. Grand Bahama at the plate with 2 gone, trying to get some of those runs back. Marcellus Hall alongside Ramiko Knowles. We have been out here watching some great softball action. Good to have the sport back.
Absolutely great to have the sport back and see the women back on the field for fast-pitch softball. It's a sport that I haven't seen in quite some time, so I'm enjoying this. I'm a spectator, commentator, and also a fan. So
yes. 3. You can't. That's a trifecta right there. That one's driven. This time. And they can't field it cleanly.
And Russell will score for Grand Bahama. Bring the score now to 9-5 here at the bottom of the third.
So they get one of the runs back. And again, misplaying. We talked about execution earlier. And again, lack of execution. They got the first 2 outs relatively easily. Since then, though, unable to execute and secure the plays. Relatively routine plays. And they've now given up at least 1 run. And let's see if they give up more.
Swing and a miss.
Strike 1. Bottom of the third here at the Bankers playing field.
In the batter's box.
Conditions.
Very warm conditions out here.
A little slow trickler back to the pitcher, and they're going to not get the play at home.
So Evans will move over to third, and she's once again in a scoring position. The runner first, safe on first, and so runners on third and first now for Grand Bahama,
and it now goes to 10-5. Yeah, 10-5. So just like we saw in the top half of the inning, unable to get that third out. Thick sand there in the infield. We saw that ball not hit very hard, but it bogged down the sand. She couldn't feel it. Tried to make the play at home with the runner advancing, but catcher couldn't hold on.
And that's what I was talking about with Exuma. You know, once Grand Bahama is able to get the ball in play, the infield mistakes and the errors on the throws has gotten that early lead out for Grand Bahama, scoring those 8 runs quickly. And now we see here in the bottom of the third where a similar situation is happening, but they need to close out this inning and get back in the batter's box.
Again, the score 10-5.
That one
and misplayed by a veteran outfielder, TD. That's going to score a lot of runs here. They're going to clear the bases on this one. Third base coach waving them around. They're going to get the inside. Well, I won't call it. It's technically an inside the park home run, but it's a 3-base error, really. So, wow, just like that. Talk about a momentum shift.
So that's 3-run score for Grand Bahama, bringing the score now to 13-5.
And TD, normally a very, very good outfielder, misplayed that one. Once the ball got past her, all bets are off. Turned her back, and wow.
And that's what I was talking about. If they had gotten that out on first, they would have been out of this inning. But now they've given up an additional 5 runs here, and now playing from the bottom in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, all that good momentum you had. You know, had they gotten that 1-2-3 inning like they would look like they were headed to, that one's down to the right side and through for another base hit. And again, you can see now the change in the body language of Exuma. They came out to start this inning looking good, a lot of smiles, and now you start giving up those runs again, and now you start to feel that heat. This is when the sun suddenly starts to feel again. Yeah,
they're definitely feeling the heat.
13-5.
Tamika Davis now on first base for Grand Bahama.
And my scorekeeper over here just said it's actually 14-5.
14-5.
So, yeah. Sayers comes out to have a word with his team.
And what do you say to them at this point?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. As a coach at this stage, say, I guess you say, listen, y'all feel this heat out here? Right? So if you want to get out of it, we got to get one more out. And I guess that's the only thing you could say. I don't know about y'all, but I would like to get off the field. Let's do this thing. It's disheartening as a pitcher, too, because you're getting the balls that should be out, and your team's not making the plays behind you. That's a pass ball by the catcher. The runner's going to advance down to second.
Doing the pitching for Exuma Navigators, LaToya Johnson,
who right about now is wishing she was anywhere else but on that mound. 14-5 is our score. Grand Bahama, I know your screen says 13-5, but it's actually 14-5. Runner at second base. Pops it up and back out of play. There you go, 14-5, right there as it says.
So Exuma still playing for one out that they are needing to get out of this inning. But Grand Bahama is just able to put the ball into play, and Exuma not able to capitalize on those plays. That one is an outside strike.
Yeah, and outside being the operative word, but it is what the umpire calls it, right? If he says it's a strike, then it's a strike. And the umpires feel the heat too, you know.
Most definitely.
A quick grounder up the middle and another base hit. Runner's going to score as the center fielder does not field it cleanly and now make it 15-5. And this could be a situation where, there it is. I think this should be the Mercer rule coming into effect here. They're down by 10 runs.
Absolutely.
In the third inning. The umpires have not made any signal to that regard, but I would think that would be the case here.
Something is happening.
And now they do it. It looks like that's it, yeah.
They're going to call this.
So the umpires have seen that it's a 10-run differential, and after 3 innings, Mercy rule comes into effect. And how quickly things can turn. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, it was just, they were down by 5, and Actually, 3 runs. Am I right? 8 to 5. You were down by 3, and you know, just like that with 2 gone, and Grand Bahama once again able to capitalize, pushing it back up by 10, and that's the way this one ends. 15 to 5 ends up being your final score. Grand Bahama holds on for the win. Although hold on might be not quite appropriate. I mean, they win by 10 runs.
All based off that error on first base.
Yeah, that error at first base.
Got them this huge win. 15-5. Mercy rule coming into effect after at the bottom of the 3rd inning. And so Exuma is tagged with the loss on this one.
And they'll go back later and think about that. I mean, if you think about it, you say, if I'm the coach, I say, look, ladies, we missed a lot of plays out there. Had we done that, had we executed, we might have had a chance to win. So that's the only optimistic thing you can tell your players moving forward, is that we had a chance. We had our chance. We just didn't capitalize. For Grand Bahama, you go back and say, we got to do better at execution ourselves. Right? Yes, we won by 10 runs, but we gave them a chance. We gave them a shot, you know?
Absolutely. Now, there were quite a bit of softball games, fast pitch softball games played yesterday. I know you were out here.
Yep.
And that feature game of the night, there was some controversy. We understand that a protest took place, Exuma protest.
Yeah,
against,
featuring Edney the Heat
Bethel.
Yeah, well, always in the midst of controversy, right? So Edney, as I was doing the Eleuthera game prior to that, the men's game, I noticed Edney was on their roster, right? He was on their roster, and I'll tell you guys about it while Ramiko goes down and grabs the winning coach there for us. But so he was on their roster, and then I noticed he didn't play, and next thing I know, apparently he's on Exuma's roster as well. Long Island says, not so fast. What's going on here? The game under protest. I don't know what the ruling has been to this stage, but you know, that's where we stand with that. And speaking of Long Island, they'll be playing shortly on the men's side in just a few, and we'll get a chance to see them in action. Veteran pitcher Pedro Marcelo will be on the mound for them. Pedro, perhaps one of our better pitchers historically here in the country, and now coming out of retirement here to represent his home island. And we'll see how that turns out here. This will be my first time seeing him in a while. Faced off against him a few times, playing fast pitch, and we'll see whether or not he's still got a little something left in the tank. Both he and Edney Bethel are veterans here in softball and in fast pitch. Both have been stalwarts in terms of dominance and all that good stuff. Good repertoire of pitches, good command. And once you have people like that on the mound, you had a chance every single time to come out victorious. And we'll see whether that plays out for this Long Island team. They have to be considered, I would imagine. I haven't seen there, but just by pitching alone, if Pedro's anything like he has been capable of in the past, then that would give them a shot at being one of the teams to reckon with here in fast pitch as the Bahamas games continue. But if you are indeed just joining us, we just saw Grand Bahamas ladies winning over Exuma 15-5 via the 10-run mercy rule. Hot and humid conditions here at the Blue Hills playing field. We're currently sitting at the Bankers Field here, and we are going to swing on down to Ramiko Knowles in just a short while. He's standing by with the coach of the Grand Bahama ladies. All right, so we'll get him in a few short moments. But as it stands, again, you can see it looks like Grand Bahama up next against Long Island in men's play. We'll get a good look at both of these teams here very, very shortly. Should be a good matchup here. Have not had a chance to see either of these teams in action to this point. So it'll be my first look. And unless you've been out here to the ballpark, it might be yours as well. Last night we had a really good crowd for the first night of softball, and fans were out in abundance. There's Ramiko. There's a look at your score from the last game, 15-5. in favor of Grand Bahama. That was ladies softball. Grand Bahama jumped out early, 8-0. Looked to be in full command. Exuma came back, top of the third inning, scored 5 runs. Seemingly back in the game, and then in the bottom of the third, with 2 gone, they got the first 2 outs. Looked to be, on their way to going back and making this a ball game, and just couldn't execute. An error by the first baseman kept the inning alive, and next thing you know, 7 runs later, ball game is over. That's why they have it on the scoreboard. Hits, runs, and errors. If you make a lot of errors, most likely you're going to be on the bad end of a scoreboard. And that's what Exuma found out in that last matchup. So coming up next, Grand Bahama versus Long Island in men's play. We'll have that for you here in just a few short minutes. Both teams now going through their warm-ups. We'll try to get the lineups for you in just a few short moments. It looks like Sydney's going to come over and have a word with Rumiko in just a few short seconds here. Sydney, my good teammate in the Masters division in the the Masters Softball Association. He and I won a championship with the Corner Boys a couple of months ago. And while I have a moment, I want to recognize some of our local umpires. Just recently coming back from West Palm Beach, where they did a certification course, NCAA certification course, and completed it successfully. This was back in March of 2022. Wayne Baston, Andrew Burrows, and Ainsworth Beckford along with Oscar Green completing that course. And I got to say kudos. When my fellow umpires do good things, I gotta give them recognition. Again, you really put in the time to get better at your craft, and those certifications mean a lot. You put in a lot of time and hard work to make sure. So West Palm Beach, again, recognizing all 4 of those umpires for getting a job done. Wayne Baston out of Grand Bahama, Andrew Burrows right here in New Providence, as is Ainsworth Beckford, and Oscar Green, who I think is also from Grand Bahama. So those guys, man, I tip my cap to them. So right now we got Rumiko Noel standing by on the field, and we'll go to him in just a few short moments there. But softball is underway here at these Bankers Field. You can see, good look as they get the field ready for play, redrawing those batters box ahead of the next game, which again will feature Grand Bahama versus Long Island in men's action. Despite this being early in the day, still got a little smattering of fans coming out to watch the action. Some of them may have called in sick. I'm not going to say that. I did say it, but I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing. And some of them might be retirees and just maybe took the day off. Either way, I'm glad to have them out here. These players are certainly happy to be able to. So let's now go down to Rumiko Knowles, who is standing by. Rumiko?
That's right, Marcellus. I'm standing by with head coach for Grand Bahama family, Sidney Thomas. 2-0 so far in this tournament. You guys came in, you played your first game yesterday, and now you come out on top over Exuma Navigators. Is that the game plan going into this tournament?
Yeah, exactly how I expected to go. Good game plan right now where I get going on, and looking at the team, and I feel like we're right where we need to be right now.
Absolutely. Now, coming up next, we have Grand Bahama also facing another team, but you guys gave up 5 runs in one of those innings, but you came out swinging, scoring 6 runs in the first inning. But coming from behind, and almost coming from behind, giving up those 6 runs in the third inning, was there ever any concern?
No, never no concern. Never no concern. I just using my the arms I got and using the bench I got. So when I make the bench, I made some little boo-boo, but other than that, I still started when there was no concern with the game at all.
Now, there's a mixture of players on your team. I see that there's some old players as well as some of the younger players, and some of those seasoned players may not be as fresh as some of the younger players, and we've seen some errors played. Is that a concern going forward?
Not really. We had some good practice. We practiced for a couple of months. We had good practice. I have a lot of confidence in the younger players that's coming in. And I got the older players here to pull them through with the experience. So we are all around it right now, real good.
All right, that's head coach Sidney Thomas for Grand Bahama. They came out over the win over Exuma Navigators. Congratulations, coach. We'll see you forward on the next day. More softball action taking place at the Banker Stadium. Stay tuned. Back to you, Marcellus.
All right, thanks a lot, Ramiko. And indeed, a lot more softball to come here today. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back. Sending it back to the studio. More softball coming up.
Check, check, check.
Grand Bahama could draw from Nassau.
I guess he must see.
Game started at 10:42.
Because Garfield battled. Who playing for Long Island? His brother played for Exuma last night. All right. I see Swanson and Duran down there. Summer students. Oh, they do have it on. Okay.
Yeah.
And we welcome back our viewers here to the Bankers Field. Softball underway. Long Island Sheep Runners on the field going up against Grand Bahama in men's play. That's Pedro Marcelo on the mound. Gave up a leadoff double to Angelo Watson, but has since struck out Michael Sweeting, and now Desmond Russell stepping into the batter's box. Good afternoon and, well, good morning still. The heat has me delirious. 2 strikes now. Quick high fastball. And Pedro settling in after again giving up that quick hit. First pitch swinging, really, by Angelo Watson. And I think that might have caught Pedro by surprise. Tried to groove one in there, and Watson was all over it. So quick 2 strikes to Desmond Russell. And good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Head on back to the dugout, sir. And Desmond's arguing. I think he wants to say he touched it. I didn't see it. I think he said I might have foul tipped it. He should want another swing, but the way he's looked on those other 2 swings, I would just say, you know what, I'm going to regroup and come back next at bat.
So that's it is a strikeout.
So 2 quick strikeouts now for Pedro Marcelo, trying to go up against the cleanup hitter now, Quinton Rowe. Goes to the riser, misses high, ball 1. You got to be careful of anything getting past the catcher here because Angelo Watson's got some good speed. Here he is on second base now. First base runner for Grand Bahama here in this matchup. Pedro Marcelo, longtime veteran. And that's taken for a ball. Well, no, they gave him a strike.
I was going to say that looked pretty
good to me, but the umpire took his time making the call there. Andrew Burrows behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes. And did he go? Yes, sir, he did. 2 strikes on him. Tried to hold up. The umpire says, broke the plane. Now 2 quick strikes here. Pedro wants to know the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes is what it is, Pedro. Good afternoon and good night. Oh, catcher can't hold on to it.
And
I told you Watson can score.
For Grand Bahama.
I told you Watson's got some speed. Don't let it get past the catcher. He will take advantage of it. So apparently that was not 3 strikes. So it's now 1 and 2. But because I was wondering why he would have still been able to score. But yeah, that's what happens when you got speed on the base pads. There's pressure on the catcher to make the play. Pedro's asking for the count again. But very quickly, Grand Bahama taking advantage of some miscues by the catcher, and they are now up by a run. And right now, Pedro's wishing for his longtime veteran catcher, Chester Fox, who's been his catcher for a long time. But Chester says, I don't have the knees anymore. I'm not trying to get out there.
So Rule is still in the box for Grand Bahama.
And that's strike 3, so he gets him out of there.
On that one. So
well, 1 strike too late, really. He had 3 strikeouts. He does strike out the side, but they're not before they give up a run. Angelo Watson led off with a double, comes around on a couple of wild pitches and scores. And just like that, Grand Bahama up 1-0. We'll move to the bottom of the first in just a few, but let's quickly give you the lineups now for that Long Island team they just saw on the field. Pedro Marcelo on the mound behind the plate, Nicholas Cartwright, and over at first base, Jeter Miller. Playing second base this afternoon, Doral Wells, and the rest of the infield looking like this. Carlos Pratt will be, actually the third baseman is Shannon Cartwright. Over at short, Carlos Pratt. And we move to the outfield, left to right, Garfield Bethel in left. In center field this morning, Isaac Fox, and in right field, Kevano Cartwright. And that's your top lineup there for Long Island. Grand Bahama now takes the field with Quentin Cooper on the mound. And behind the plate will be Quentin Roll, whom we just saw strike out. Larry Russell over at first base. Second baseman, Louis Shannon. And over at shortstop, third base, Michael Sweeting. Shortstop this afternoon. Keep saying afternoon, maybe I'm projecting. Desmond Russell playing short. Over in the outfield now, left field to right field. Got Angelo Watson in left. Center fielder is Mikael Bethel. And over in right field, Teran Roll. So they will try to do something here.
Given the heat, I can see why you keep saying afternoon. This is
definitely
noon.
This is just the morning. Yeah, I mean, God help us.
It's been happening out there, so it feels like the afternoon is definitely. So.
God help us all, right? I mean, if this is the morning heat. By 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, man, it'll be
a scorcher.
Yeah, and it will definitely not be something you want to be out in.
But interesting enough, a lot of fans have already began to make their way to the park to watch the first game. We just saw Grand Bahama family taking on the Exuma Navigators. Grand Bahama coming out on top in that one, which was a good game. Getting the mercy rule in the third inning, 15-5 in favor of Grand Bahama. So they're now 2-0 on the women's side of things. And now we head into men's fast pitch. Grand Bahama taking on Long Island Sheep Runners. And this is gearing up to be an exciting one. Grand Bahama scoring 1 in the top of the first, and Long Island will now get their chance at the bat. Let's see what happens.
It'll be Ian Wells leading things off, followed by Isaac Fox leading off, followed by Doral Wells and Garfield Bethel. First 3 hitters now for Long Island. Should anybody get on, Keanu Cartwright in the hole. Current temperature, 89 degrees is what it's telling me. Feels like 100, and that's literally what it says. It says feels like 100, and I think they may be accurate.
So if you're watching us from the stream, you're watching from a pretty good position. And for those of you that are in the stands, they are under some shade. So
yeah, we appreciate you, and we admire your fortitude.
Absolutely. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're pulling for.
First pitch to Isaac Fox is a ball, and it's now 1-0. Quentin Cooper trying to find the release point. That one low as well, 2-0. Good hitters count here, although I would imagine he's trying to get a feel for what the pitcher for Grand Bahama has to offer. He hasn't come close with any of these pitches, 3-0, still kind of feeling it out. You can see right there, trying to get his footing correct on that mound, on the rubber. 3 balls, no strikes.
They had a lot of guys out here earlier working on the field, making sure that it was ready for these games today. They were out here early, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and getting things done for this field. And there's the strike. No.
Oh, wow, the umpire does not give him the call. That's ball 4. Crowd letting him know that they thought that should have been strike 1.
Okay, well, he will go to base on balls. Isaac Fox over at first.
Leadoff man on board. That's what you want here if you're Long Island. Doral Wells now back up to the plate, trying to see if he can advance the runner. And he takes ball 1 away. Oh, now the umpire again says, he says, no, I think that's a strike. So strike 1.
He said.
And here's the 0-1 pitch now. That one a little further outside, and umpire this time says that's a ball. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Doral Wells. And here's the pitch. Swings at it, comes up empty on the drop ball, and now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tipped that one off. I wasn't sure if he was going to swing at that one.
A little late swing there for real. Almost in the catcher's glove by the time he decided to take a whack at it. Looked like it should have been a better ball anyway. 1 ball, 2 strikes, though, is the count against Wells. Isaac Fox over at first. We're just underway, bottom of the first inning. 1-0 game. Grand Bahama up by 1. Here's the 1-2. Fouls it away and stays alive. Just did get a piece of it.
Looks like if the pitch can come inside, he's definitely going to put it somewhere on the field. And Quinton pitching him on the outside. And he manages to stay alive by just putting his bat on it. The pitch. That one lifted high.
Pops it up, and that's going to get out of play down the third baseline. Count stays 1-2 here.
So he's definitely making sure, put some throws on the pitcher.
Yeah. If nothing else, make it work a little bit in this sun. I got to be out here. You're going to stay out here, too. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That one fouled
And again,
off as
fouls
well.
it away. So a good at bat here. Pesky hitter, Darrell Wells, refusing to go down quietly. One ball, 2 strikes count to Wells. Here comes the pitch from Cooper. And again, fouling it away. Proven to be a troublesome hitter here. And no matter what happens here, you gotta, goes back to the dugout, they gotta say, job well done. You did great out there. Made the pitcher work. Quality at bat.
Absolutely.
1-2, he'll try again.
That one.
And again, fouls it away.
This is a great second batter. He's going to put them throws on the pitcher, making him work.
Good hand-eye coordination. You know what? When I used to pitch baseball, a guy keep fouling away pitches like that, I just hit him. You know what?
Just get to the base.
You know what? You got the base, but you're going to pay for it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That was
Try
on
to
the
change
outside.
up way outside. Count runs to 2-2. So Cooper tried a little trickery, and he might have had him because he saw him flinch in the batter's box, but it's so far away that he could see there was a ball right off the pitcher's hands. 2-2 now. As Wells continues to battle in the batter's box.
That one.
That time he gets something to put some wood on, and again fouls it away. But he's starting to see him now. He's seen a lot of pitches. I think he's seen everything that Cooper has to offer.
So Quinton has to be strategic in how he pitches to Wells. This guy has good hand-eye coordination here.
2-2. A 10-pitch at bat so far. He's made him work. Cooper misses. Did we miss one somewhere? I thought it was 2-2. We must have missed one. That's ball 4. He works his way on base here.
Well, he definitely
really good at bat then. All right.
He threw the pitch a lot. So
wow. So making 12 pitches he must have seen, and he works his way on base with a walk. They're on first and second with nobody out. And here's a dangerous hitter. You miss with Garfield Bethel. You could see this ball go quite a distance now. National team catcher today playing the outfield. He swings at the first pitch.
Russell with the first base tag, and that'll be 2.
Wow!
Great play by Desmond Russell over there on third base.
So way to mess me up, Garfield. I give you all the props, and you hit into a double play. Sharp one hopper. That's a third baseman's dream right there. Sunday hop, touch the bag and go over. So Cooper grateful. Just like that, they erased the threat. 2 outs, and now you can get out of the inning without any damage. And here's the cleanup man, Keno Cartwright.
That was Russell over there on shortstop, so he ran over and got that one be able to tag the third base bag and throw it over the first.
Still got to throw it plenty of time, too, to still throw out Garfield, who's actually a pretty good runner. Boy, swing and a miss at a high fastball. Cooper now starting to feel himself a little bit. And how big would this be for Grand Bahama if you're from momentum side of things?
A great stop to stop some runs from coming in for Long Island. So
we're speaking, oh boy.
Did he call it?
Did not call it.
The fans are definitely
fans
in the stadium.
They wanted it. Yeah, the fans wanted it. The fans were like, man, we want to see you do the strike three dance. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That one hit
Tommy
over to the first base
gets
side.
a little chopper to the first base.
Russell.
And just in time to get the out. So Long Island gets a couple of runners on base, but they strand them all. And they'll have to go back onto the field and play some defense here. We will move to the top of the second. It's Grand Bahama up 1-0 against the Sheep Runners of Long Island. All right, quickly right back to the action now. Top of the second inning. Pedro Marcelo back on the mound. His team down 1-0 early on.
Russell was able to get 3 strikes, 1-2-3 inning in that first, and now we have Larry Russell batting cleanup for our 5th for Grand Bahama. Larry Russell, also very seasoned player, brother of Desmond Russell, who made that stop over there during the last inning.
Yep, Russell.
Let's see what he's able to do.
The Russell brothers, well known around Grand Bahama for baseball. 3-0 now is the count. 3-0. Pedro Marcelo. Now he pours that one right across the heart, and Russell taking all the way. I would say that's good hitting, but you know I've seen people swing 3-0 these days. There seems to be no. Boy, he looked bad on that fastball. 3-2.
And you know, you think about it; these guys haven't seen a fastball in quite some time. So you will see that as they are in the batter's box. You see them taking those swings at those high outside pitches.
Yes. And same pitch, same result.
Same result.
So he gets ahead in the count, 3-0, but 3 quick strikes right after the other for Pedro and sends him back to the dugout.
4 strikeouts for Marcelo now.
Yeah, 4 Ks. And no strange to the high strikeout numbers either. He's had games where he's had 10, 12 strikeouts. So it's been known to happen. Loves that riser. He finds that release point. It's going to be trouble for these hitters. There's Quentin Cooper, the pitcher, getting a chance to face off against his counterpart. And he does foul it back. So at least he makes contact. That's been rare.
But that's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You know, like I said, most of these players haven't seen a fastball or played fast pitch in quite some time.
Yeah.
It's been a high lob, the slow pitch happening,
that's true,
especially in Grand Bahama. And so, you know, it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. Aside from that, it's just been baseball.
Yeah. And you know, think about it, there's a big difference between practice and live action, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You can, hey, boy, that fastball running away is
getting a lot of them swinging on that. I guess it looks good from where they're
coming
standing.
out of the hand. Yeah, coming out of the hand. Looks like a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, says the umpire. And down goes another. There's Marcelo. Sends another one back to the dugout. It's like a parade.
That perhaps will be the downfall of Grand Bahama not being able to see the pitch of at such high velocity and speed for several years.
Well, and you know that one run in the top of the first now may come to be a big thing here.
Big thing for them.
Yeah, you know that may end up being the. I mean, it's still early, but.
You calling it?
Yeah. Listen, I played for Long Island in the last Bahamas games. I ain't going against my sheep runners.
That one's on the outside.
1-0.
Tehran Rule now steps into the batter's box for Grand Bahama.
And again, that fastball blew by you.
Good cut, but could not make contact.
1-1, 2 gone. And speaking of 2, that's 2 strikes on him now. Pedro's finding a rhythm.
I think he's just a little bit too late on these swings and not able to keep his head on the ball.
Tried to go with the drop ball there, misses. Pedro may want to stay away from that. Catcher doesn't seem to be able to handle those balls below the knees too much.
Yeah, especially if there's runners on base, he shouldn't
yeah.
just keep it.
may want to stay away from that.
Which Grand Bahama hasn't been able to do this inning, get any runners on base.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Two strikeouts.
And if I'm Pedro, I'll just throw it straight because they haven't seen the capacity. There it is, right? So they haven't shown that they can hit it. So I don't think you need to trick them here.
Yeah. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for a Long Island Sheep runners. And it's similar to the first inning for them. Only 1 run was able to score. And so now we head to the bottom of the second to see what Long Island Sheep runners can do. Can they get on the scoreboard? And stepping to the batter's box for them will be Carlos Pratt, followed by Nicholas Cartwright and Cheetah Miller.
So still trying to make some noise offensively is Long Island. They'll get a second chance at it as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Pedro Marcelo has been dialed in. He's got the strikeout numbers adding up. In case you're just joining us, the only run in the ball game came in the top half of the first. Angelo Watson led off with a double. Advanced on a couple of pass balls and was able to score to make it a 1-0 game, which is where we stand. And the way this game is going, that one run may be huge. It'll be an unearned run, actually.
Yeah.
But either way, they still count. Whether it's unearned or not, it still counts on the score.
1 point up there.
Right.
We'll take it. Take that. But the players are definitely keeping hydrated. You see a lot of water and ice.
It is a must. Yeah, it is a must in this heat.
Interestingly enough, a lot of the places you go in New Providence, and they don't have any ice.
It's the way the heat is right now. There, ice is, I'm sure, in high demand. Which is why that ice making machine they have over at the stadium, I'm sure, is getting a lot of usage right about now.
A lot of action.
These games going on. You buy a bag of ice, drive up the road, and it's already melted.
Listen,
that's the way this heat has been.
Never thought of that, Derek. Hey, kudos to you.
Yeah, tip of the cap. They did well. Here we go. Bottom of the second. Cooper back on the mound. Trying to keep Long Island at bay. This is Carlos Pratt. Swings at the first pitch. Up the middle. The throw is going to be not in time. Second baseman did knock it down, but there was no way he was going to be able to get that ball and get the runner. Tried to throw it up to the shortstop. But this isn't baseball. We got 90 feet to make a throw. Softball is just 60 feet. If you don't get it right away, it ain't happening.
Johnson diving to stop the ball on second base. But nothing happening with that play. So now Carlos Pratt was now on first.
And here's Nicholas Cartwright. Takes ball 1. Cartwright, the big catcher today for Long Island. Looking to make this a productive out. With the run over at first base. Does not go, says the umpire, and that'll be 2-0. We're trying to put it up in his face and see if he would chase it. Did not oblige. 2-0. Here's the pitch from Cooper. And he fouls it away. Got a good pitch to hit, just couldn't quite square it up.
Looked to be a lot of quite inside. Jammed him up a little bit.
Yeah, got it in on the hands.
can certainly see the fatigue showing on
Yeah,
his face.
listen, this is, you know what? He almost looks like he should be panting, right? It's like 2-1. Here's the pitch. Inside, 3-1.
Wow.
Got to get out of the way. And a quick 3-1 count here. Long Island trying to get something going offensively here in the bottom of the second. A runner already at first. And that's ball 4. So Long Island in business. Runners at first and second, nobody out, but we've been here before.
See how things can change.
And how big, if they could go ahead here, I'm projecting a bit, but I think with the way Pedro's been pitching, that could hold up. Get these 2 runs in, you get a 1-run lead. It may be good enough, but again, you see the runner, right? You see him out there at second base, like, whoo, man.
It's different out here. It's
Yeah,
definitely
it is definitely
out here.
different. It used to be 93 million miles away, the sun, but I think it's closer now.
I said it's closer to New Providence
It
than
is.
it is to any other place in the world.
Strike 1 gets the outer edge from Cooper.
That's Jeter Miller
This Jeter Miller, yeah.
in the box for Long Island Chief Runners.
Wonder if he's named after Derek Jeter.
Sounds familiar.
And takes a big swing. They're going to throw behind the runner. And it goes away. Runner advances to third and is safe. Good heads-up base running. Throw got by. They tried to throw behind him. He had a big lead. Got away from the shortstop and now able to advance to third. They got him on the corners here.
Definitely good heads-up running by Pratt there.
So now an opportunity for Jeter Miller. Just get bat on ball here. They should be able to score a run. Timeout called.
And those are the mistakes you don't want to make, because those are the things you pay for late in
Yes,
the game.
absolutely. Ivano Cartwright standing by on deck, and another timeout call. And now we're ready to go. Settling back into the batter's box is Miller. Here's the 0-1.
That one outside. He almost went on that one.
Yeah, he did. And you can tell he's just anxious. Anything close, he's going to swing. He's going to let the hands go. 1-1. Cooper, you just got to be careful where you put it. 1-1 pitch coming in from Cooper.
That's
And that's
over
driven.
to,
And boy, what a nice play.
was it to shortstop? It was quick.
Third baseman
Third
snagged
baseman.
it out of the air in the line drive.
Okay.
Well hit, but right at him. And scooping it up and making the play. Michael
Sweeting over
Yeah.
there. Good glove.
So now 1 gone. And here is,
Runner
they're going
going.
to send the runner down to second. And a foul ball. So they're trying to get rid of the double play situation. They were sending the runner with the bunt. Let's see if they keep it on. Third baseman's got to stay put. Pitcher will have to feel it on that side. If you can put it on the third base side, you're in good shape. That's in there for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's Cooper.
Swing, and that one's hit
Pops it
high.
up and out of play.
Out of play.
So they got the first 2 runners on base.
And this can be a big inning for Long Island if they're able to get those runs in.
Yeah. Got him on the corners here, first and third. One out on the line drive. Way outside.
As well.
Tried to get him to go fishing a little bit. But the hitter not biting. Here's a good look at your runner on third base. For Long Island, that's Carlos Pratt. Cooper will reset.
Cooper telling his catcher, you want to go
You
left,
want
you
it
go
in?
inside,
You
outside.
want it outside? What's happening here? Andrew Burroughs comes out, said, look, I need you to speed this thing up. It's hot out here. I got on this black umpire shirt.
You see by the hand movement,
right,
he said,
right.
roll
He
it
said,
along.
Let's go.
Moving.
Let's keep the pace going. I ain't got time to be out here all day. And having called a lot of games with Andrew, I can tell you that's exactly what he's telling him right now. Let's get this. Oh boy, that's what he said right now. Oh boy, I need you to speed this game up. You're playing on time.
He's going to have some words with the catcher. They're going to try something here on this play.
Runners on the corners. Here in the bottom of the second inning. Fielders took that opportunity to maybe go out and get some water.
Get something to drink there. Okay, we're going to break. Okay.
Never seen that, a water break in the middle of the game.
It's happening now. It's going to happen now.
These are unusual times, right? Exactly. 2-2. Here's the pitch from Cooper.
That one on
And
the
he
outside.
gets him.
You see
Strike
that
three
he
looking.
likes this outside pitch.
Yeah, yes, sir.
He's going to call that. I wouldn't take that if I was
You
the
got to
batter.
ride the plate in that situation and just try to foul it off. Stick a bat out. Get a piece of it. The umpires have been calling that outside corner consistently in the game before this and in this one so far. So you got to be aware of that as you're a hitter. Make the adjustments. 2 outs now, and Long Island now in jeopardy of squandering yet another couple of base runners. They got the first 2 on, like the same thing they did in the first inning, and now it's going to be up to the next batter to try and get a base hit here. This is Shannon Cartwright.
This is a high-stake pitch for Quentin Cooper. See what he does. The pitch, that one low in the dirt.
So Shannon Cartwright at the plate, not to be confused with Shannon Don Cartwright. That's
a lot of Cartwrights on Long Island today.
Well,
about 3
they got a whole
Cartwrights over there.
settlement called Cartwrights actually. So that's it. That tells you. not out of the. And that's a strike.
It's a good pitch right there.
Yeah, they got an entire settlement called Cartwrights in Long Island. So there's one called Miller's, one called Majors, Mortimer's. So don't be surprised if you see
that one fouled off, out of play.
Straight back and out of play there. 2 strikes on him. So Cooper,
Cartwright staying
a
alive.
chance here Cooper's got a chance here to get out of this inning without giving up a run. And how long will Long Island be able to get away with not being able to score here? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cooper trying to pitch his way out of a jam. And he does.
Got him. I would not have taken that pitch.
Yeah,
It was too good. From the minute it left.
Right, at what point do you start to recognize, those are going to be strikes in this game and start letting your hands go? You got to swing. You can't hit it if you don't swing. That's for sure.
That's a strikeout there for Quentin Cooper to give Grand Bahama another opportunity to get some points on the board, and that was a blown inning for Long Island.
Again.
2 runners on base, not able to capitalize on it, but that'll take us to the top of the 3rd here at Bankers Field. Grand Bahama taking on Long Island. We'll be back. Marcellus, Ramiko, stay tuned.
And back now, top of the third inning coming up. Pedro Marcelo has been doing everything he can to keep this a one-run game. He's got about 5 strikeouts so far. Struck out the side. Actually, 6 strikeouts, but he struck out top 3 batters in the first, and now 3 more in the second. Let's see if he can do it again in the third.
Grand Bahama has been having a tough time making contact. So Marcelo has been having a great day at the mound with 6 strikeouts now in the top of the third.
And at the plate now is Lou Johnson. Lou looked like he tried to get hit by that. Did you see that? He put the leg in.
Doesn't look like he wants to put the bat on the ball. He's
right.
just there too.
He's like, please just throw me 4. That's strike 1.
Maybe he's the kind of batter that takes the first one and
maybe take the first strike. Yeah.
So we'll see.
You got some hitters that go up there hoping they get ball 4.
There's a swing.
And that's a little late. 2-2. Quickly to count even here. And I think Pedro smells blood in the water. He does follow the way.
I am shocked to see that he hit that because his eye was certainly not on the ball.
Yeah, I think that might have been a case of sheer luck. That was close my eyes and see if I hear something. and that not being strike 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pedro deals and strikes him out.
On the outside.
Make it 7 Ks now. 7 strikeouts for Pedro Marcelo. His only blemish has been Angelo Watson with the leadoff double.
Absolutely.
Swinging at the first pitch, and speaking of which, he comes out on deck. Here's Mikael Bethel, the center fielder.
Was playing baseball for Grand Bahama. Now he moves over to softball. Pretty talented player.
He shows bunt. Hey, why not? The swinging isn't working. Let's try to bunt.
Let's just get on
base
at this point.
Bunt our way on. Swinging does not appear to be working for us, so let's try to bunt our way on. Whatever works. But he fouls it now. He got a strike. He almost went after that high fastball.
Did. Almost go on that one. So when it releases, it looks low, and then the rise at the end. Count 1-1.
That one just kept rising. And here's the 1-1 delivery from Marcelo. Try to drop ball that time, and now 1-2. And I guess maybe trying to show him a little something different. Still hasn't quite found that release, though, for the drop ball. If he does, that could be trouble.
Strike.
Fouls it away.
He swing and a miss on that one.
Looks like he might have touched it, but it does count as another strike. They're getting the speakers ready. We could have some music out here shortly. So you got entertainment, but other than the action, that's for sure.
It's a long day of fast pitch softball. That one high.
Just misses. I think Pedro was trying to get in the chase there, and he didn't. And he's going to ask for time.
Cello is definitely not wasting any time on the mound.
Yeah, he's like, box, I'm ready to roll. Yeah.
Get these guys back in the dugout. Let's get back in the shade. That one.
It's a deep
high to the right
outfield,
side.
And drifting back. It is
gone.
How about that? Drives it long and gone. Oh, look at the little flare going around third base.
There you have it. Mikael Bethel batting ninth.
Yes,
Put
sir.
one out
ninth,
of the park on the right side of the field. What's
Caught
the
me by
distance?
surprise. I didn't think he had enough of that, but it kept going. And just like that, a 2-0 lead now for Grand Bahama. And you can see the looks in the Long Island. Yeah, they were like, we were out of this thing. Pedro was rolling well. And now he's facing the guy that started off the hit parade.
And
Well,
so
I shouldn't say hit parade because they've only had 2 hits. Yeah, he's had a hit. Yeah.
So the only 2 batters for Grand Bahama able to get on base is the only 2 batters that scored.
And Watson now fouls it away.
And that was a heartbreaker for Long Island.
Well, excuse me, swing got in on the hands. Wow, that might have been a tough play had that stayed fair, though. Watson, like we said, has got a lot of speed. One ball, 2 strikes. And he gets him swinging. That ball kept riding in on the hands. He's like, hey, I'm out? Yes, you are, sir. Threw him a curveball. It rolled in on the hand, started out middle of the plate, and it just kept riding in on him. Couldn't quite get there. So you're going to see the full repertoire now. I think Pedro's deciding I gotta give these guys all the best stuff now. Quick strike to Michael Sweeting, who struck out his last time up. Tries to butt his way on. Pedro over to first base in time for the third out.
Him on the third out.
So they do get a run, courtesy of the long ball. A long shot to get it done in the right side of the outfield. And just like that, Grand Bahama now up 2-0. Long Island. Got to figure something out offensively. They've left a lot of runners on base.
And that home run by Mikael Bethel certainly caught a lot of them off guard. And now you can see the momentum kind of die down.
Yeah, because they were feeling pretty good. You know, they gave up the one run, but they were like, okay, all we got to do is score one. We've had our chances, but now all of a sudden when it's a 2-0 game, it makes things different. It does change it up.
So Grand Bahama is sitting in a pretty good position, a comfortable position right now at the bottom of the third.
Yes.
As they prepare to get a 1-2-3. That'll be the hope going into this inning for them, but we'll see what Long Island Sheep Runners is able to do as they prepare to come and make their appearance at the plate.
It has been a pretty good pitcher's duel here to this stage. Pedro Marcelo has only given up 2 hits. Unfortunately for him, all 2 of those have ended up being runs.
And we're now at the top of the lineup for Long Island. That'll bring up Isaac Fox,
who actually got on bases last time up. We'll see if he can repeat the trend.
That one.
Grounder to the third baseman. He can't field it cleanly.
Sweeting unable to hold on to it, and Fox will get on first.
He's been on base every single time so far. And once again, Long Island with the leadoff man on board. And they'll look to break a disturbing trend of leaving runners on base here.
You know, and those are the things we talked about, those innings where runners are on bases and you're not able to capitalize, and you pay for it in the long run in the game. And now they're paying for it, playing from the bottom.
Boy, Raw came up hacking. Wells is looking to do something with that last pitch. Cooper got him to swing through it. This time away.
On the outside. Well, that one was a ball.
Yeah.
He was getting those outside strikes.
Yeah. Perhaps a little bit too outside. It's tough to gauge. Maybe our angle is off. Maybe it could be us. 1-1. And here's the 1-1 delivery.
That one is
high for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Wells. Runner at first base is Isaac Fox.
Russell still looking like he hasn't caught his breath.
Yeah, he's like
out there. The pitch. That one.
That's a strike for sure.
Got him on the outside.
Very deliberate strike call there by Andrew Burrows.
Listen, Andrew is not wasting any time behind the plate. If it looks good on the outside, he's calling it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can't take anything, any chances. Don't leave it to the umpire.
Yeah, put it in my hands. You may not like the result. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Does not chase as Cooper tries to go a little further off the plate. Coach used to always say, it's called now batting, son. You're not not now called taken. You ain't up there. You got a bat in your hand, use it. So the runner at first base, Wells at the plate.
Here's the pitch.
And
that
he misses for
low.
ball 4. So once again, they get the 2 leadoff men on board. First and second, nobody out. Garfield Bethel last time came up in this situation, bounced into a ground ball, bounced into a double play. And now he comes up again We'll try to avoid the deja vu situation, that's for sure.
And this can be a dangerous inning for Grand Bahama now with no outs and runners on first and second. We'll see what happens here. Long Island can really turn this thing around.
See Cooper trying to set up the defense. What are we going to do here in this situation? If the ball gets in play, here's Garfield Bethel. Takes the ball.
Talked about his experience at the plate, and not a batter that you want to have on.
Yeah,
at the box.
This is a good situation for him here. If you're Long Island, this is probably the hitter you want in this situation. I know he bounced into a ground ball double play last time, and this time he drives into the outfield
high,
and drops in for a base hit. So Bethel does come through. The runner had to hesitate, was not moving on contact, maybe thought it was going to be caught. I thought, yeah, that's what he's telling the third base coach right now. I thought I had to wait, yeah. Because I thought he should have scored easily on that play. Instead, they're loaded with nobody out. So Garfield Bethel comes up with a hit.
They're going to talk it out now to make sure that they understand what they need to do on this play if the ball is in the infield.
Got a 2-run lead, but I'm sure they'd like to keep it that way. Nobody out. Infield fly rule is in effect here. Ball 1.
This is one of the Cartwrights, Keanu Cartwright in the batter's box.
You know, Long Island, best possible scenario here, a walk or something, at least hit deep enough to score a run if you don't get a base hit.
Fouled that one off.
Whack at the outside edge.
Well, at least he's not taking that outside pitch that, was called strike.
And I'm surprised that maybe it's because they haven't seen a lot of fast pitch. A lot of these guys haven't made the adjustment to move closer to the plate. Take away that outer edge and make it something you can square up. Force the pitcher, nobody wants to get hit either. So, but I was going to force the pitcher to come inside of it if he wants to get you out. See, there it is. That ball's away from him, but he's still trying to pull it.
Trying to reach it.
Yeah. The only thing you're going to do with that is roll over it and set up a double play. He's got 2 strikes on him now, and now 3.
Got him.
See you later. So that'll be 1 away. And Cooper trying to see if he can keep this a goose egg on the scoreboard.
A big strikeout for Cooper to get the first out for Grand Bahama.
Yeah, double play gets you out of the inning here.
Gets you out of the inning.
So we'll see. So here is Carlos Pratt. Pratt takes the ball. Pratt reached on his last at bat. He'd like to do so again, which would mean that at least 1 run would score.
Well, we've seen on instances with runners on base where they haven't been able to do anything with it, and that's something that they don't want to happen at the bottom of this 3rd inning.
Yeah, they've stranded 4 runners on board to this stage. If you get half of those in, it's a tie game. But coulda, woulda, shoulda, as they say. If. 2 biggest words in the dictionary.
And the pitch, swing and
fouls
fouled off.
It back. 2 balls, 1 strike now. To the hitter from Long Island, Carlos Pratt. His team trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Runners on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. In other words, they're loaded. You've got to put the ball in play here. Anything that's not on the ground is good. And he drives it deep into the outfield. Left fielder drifting back. Can't make the play. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. They're going to throw it home. Not in time. And just like that, this ball game is tied.
In left field for Grand Bahama, that is, I think that's, is it Bethel out there? Who was unable to make that catch.
Yeah, that's Angelo Watson actually who couldn't catch. He's normally a very good outfielder. That time he couldn't hold on. It was a long run, and I think he misread it a little bit. But how about that? Turn of events. This time they are able to capitalize. Here's a good look at Watson.
I know he's probably disappointed right now giving up those 2 runs on that blown catch. It looked like he had it in his hand for a minute.
Can you see the heat waves coming out?
I can see
it. Wow. So Watson can't corral it. And now Long Island right back in this ball game. A chance to actually take the lead here. Still only 1 out, remember. The runners are on first and second. Cooper would love to get a double play here. Got some speed at second with Garfield Bethel running. Cooper wants to know new softball. Bethel looks to be moving a little gingerly out there on the base pads. Maybe tweaked his back. We'll see if that impedes his ability to run. But here's the hitter now. And little squirrel back to the pitcher. And he can't field it cleanly. Do they still get him at first?
I think they still got him on the first base.
Yeah, there's the out signal.
Yes, he's out of there.
Oh, he must have their emergency brake on while running there. I don't know how he still got him there. Got to take the emergency brake off. That'll help you with some speed.
That was the out that Grand Bahama needed.
Wow, and very lucky for them because that could have gone bad. Instead, there are 2 outs. The runners do advance to second and third, but it's not going to take a base hit or something of a mishap for them to score that run, the go-ahead run.
I think the pitcher got a little bit too excited as he was trying to field the ball, and it just happened to bobble out of his hand. He was thinking about the runners that were moving and wondering where he was going to throw it and not looking at what he was doing, and ended up bobbling it, but still managed to get the run out on first.
2-2 game. Long Island has come to life here offensively. Cooper back on the mound, and they're going to let him throw a couple of tosses to see if he's okay. Didn't see quite what happened there.
Jammed his finger up on the ground as he was
I don't
going for the ball.
Right, they came out, checked him out. Looks like he's okay to go, and he's going to try and fight through it. So Long Island here with an excellent chance. For the first time in this game, they're able to capitalize on having runners on base. They'd love to get a lead for Pedro. And here's Jeter Miller. It'll be in his hands with 2 gone. Here's Cooper.
That one hit over to the shortstop.
Long throw. It's going to be thrown away. 1 run scores. Here comes the second. Or at least 1 run scores. I think Bethel was scoring from second. And now it is 2 runs. Yes, so now Long Island has a lead.
No, I think
they're going to send the runner back.
Andrew, one of the umpires.
So where the ball went out of play, so they can only get 1 base on that. That's a tough break for Long Island, boy, I tell you that.
A tough break.
But they do get at least 1 run in. They have a 3-2 lead now. And I thought the run would have scored either way, but rules say if it goes out of play, you only get 1 base to advance. He was on first, so he can only stop at third. Luckily, though, Bethel does score. Costly, though, for Long Island. Cost them a run there a bit.
Absolutely, and costly for Grand Bahama.
Right, well, Grand Bahama says it's a good thing that went out of play. Otherwise, you'd be down 2 here. So the inning continues. As here is Kevano Cartwright. His second at bat.
The pitch.
He threw the bat at that thing. He was bailing out, but throwing the bat at an outside ball.
If you're gonna have to do that, just take the strike.
Yeah.
Because you're only gonna hit a little grounder in the infield, and I'm confused as to why they're reaching for the outside pitch so much.
Yeah, just get up on that plate and take it away. You know, it's obviously the strategy here for Grand Bahama. They're gonna see, there it is, and see he tries to go in another throw offline.
Unable to make the throw over to first.
2 quick runs that time.
Second.
They're going to make a throw. They got the runner held up. He's going to score. He's going to score here. Going to try and make the play and overthrow. And how about this situation?
It is just, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's just, bad throw after bad throw after bad throw.
It was like
to clear the bases.
It was like it was either very hot, hot potato. They were playing hot potato out there with the softball, and what a quick turnaround.
Did he just get an infield inside the park home run off of?
Right. You know what? I've been watching this game a long time. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I honestly don't know if I've ever seen that happen.
Definitely a horrible play for Grand Bahama.
Yeah, you got to talk this over. You know, you see them come over, and what do you say? I mean, what do you say at this stage?
Like, guys,
what are we doing out here? Yeah.
I have never seen that as well. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Wow. They say you ain't passed nothing till you're dead, right? So
I'm telling you.
That's definitely a case in point. 6-2.
Two bad throws over to first base to Larry Russell, who was unable to make those catches, and a costly inning for them.
You know you're going to tell him about that a little later on, right?
About that.
Man, you can't throw it. 6-2 is our score as a result.
It's going to be some words we're unable to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's going to be quite that civil. Yeah, you're right. They're probably going to say some non-PG-13 words. It's going to be rated R, that's for sure.
Oh, man.
So our score is 6-2 after this. The wheels have just fallen off for Grand Bahama. And the way Pedro Marcelo has been pitching, this could be enough to hold up.
Absolutely.
Bottom of the third. Still batting. Long Island. They've had 2 outs for a minute now. That one down low for a ball. And you got to figure Cooper's, as a pitcher, it's got to be a little bit disturbed here.
Absolutely. Not being able to capitalize on those plays when you could have been out of this inning and giving up all those runs. Now they have to make pretty much a miracle happen to hit against Marcelo, who's pretty much been blowing them down with about 8 strikeouts so far in this game. So they're in a pretty good position heading to the top of the 4th inning. Grand Bahama will need a miracle at this point to come away with this game.
Will. And if you're Long Island, you're feeling pretty good about things. Boy, that one's driven to the outfield. Left fielder going back, settles under it, and makes the catch. Finally, they get 3 gone as Watson brings it in. But not before the Sheep Runners run all over the base pads to take a 6-2 lead against Grand Bahama. Watson comes in. This is that my bad moment. You get into the dugout.
Everybody's
my bad, guys.
Have a talk with each other and try to rally to make some things happen. And we'll see what they do as we go now to the top of the 4th inning. Stay with us. We'll be back with more softball action.
To the top of the fourth, we will go. There's your score on your television screens. Long Island up by 4 runs, 6-2. And what a remarkable turnaround it has been. They were trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the third. And with 2 outs, they found a way to get it going. 6 runs later, they have a 4-run advantage.
Definitely a horrible inning for Grand Bahama, giving up all those runs and now having to come back and play from behind after leading this game from start until the bottom of the third, where they gave up 6 runs based on bad throws and just errors. The left fielder dropping a catch out there, and they are unable to capitalize on some plays, and now they are paying for it as the game is now 6-2 at the top of the 4th inning. But here we go. Marcelo just having a great day on the mound so far. 8 strikeouts, and Grand Bahama hasn't been able to do anything with him. The 2 runners that scored for them are the only 2 runners that got on base. We had a home run by Mikael Bethel in the bottom of the third that bring in that second run, and that was it. And now here we are at the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and so he's gonna, he's got to feel pretty good. He's been giving up the 2 hits, yes, but for the most part, he's been in full command, and I would imagine he says to himself, none of these guys are the ones that hit me so far. I struck out everybody that I've faced, including this current hitter for Grand Bahama. This is now
Desmond Russell.
Desmond Russell. And things haven't changed so far. Strike 1. 1-1 to Desmond Russell. And he's taking big hacks. And with Pedro, you're not going to get big swings on him. That time able to hold up. You got to shorten up that swing. It's got to be short and quick through the batter's box. Otherwise, they're going to come up empty, which is what a lot of these guys are doing. 2-1. Does get a piece of it. And through for a base hit. So Russell makes the adjustment. Just the 3rd hit of the game now for Grand Bahama, but they got the leadoff man on board.
I think that's just what they need to focus on, just making contact at this moment and getting runners on bases and making some scores. This will go to the 5th inning.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine so. There's a lot of time on that clock. It's no looks as if I don't think we're going to have the mercy rule. So, yeah, you just got to win the war of attrition here. Pops
Big
it up
swing
and out of play.
By Quinton Roll.
So you would think this is where the endurance factor comes in for Pedro. He's an older guy in his 50s, and
he's looking great. He's having a great day out there.
You got to make him a little uncomfortable. 2 strikes now. He fouls it back. So now maybe it's the 2nd time through. You see they've made some adjustments at the plate.
Absolutely. Pedro telling the outfield to go back a little bit.
Yeah, these are guys that weren't even coming close to touching him last time. Now they're getting some contact here. So
speed taken off the pitch.
Yeah. Good time for a changeup if you're Pedro. These guys are sped up. They've got their bat sped up. Strike 3. That's
a great pitch on the inside. Maybe it was a little bit too low for him.
And he was looking away, and I think and that pitch came right on the inside half. And, yeah, he thought it was low. The umpire thought differently.
But it's just too close for comfort. I would not leave on account when it's 2 against you. You can't leave anything close.
Yeah, that's what it is. The umpire has shown that he will call strikes if you're around that plate. So if you're the hitters, you got to go up there with that mentality. 1 gone, runner at first, as Grand Bahama tries to pick up a few of those runs that they gave up back. Pedro Marcelo, though, adds another strikeout to his tally, make it 9 in the ball game. Looking for double digits here. And here is Larry Russell.
Larry struck out during his first appearance at the plate.
Take strike 1.
And he will look to make something happen for Grand Bahama.
And I think because he swung at a lot of pitches away, you can see he's making a concerted effort not to go after those pitches.
Yeah.
But now with 1 strike, he turns the hand. He's like now swing happy.
And as a batter, when you struck out during your first appearance, you go back and you make those adjustments and come back and see what you can do.
And he swings and misses in the same exact way he struck out the first time. Chases one away. See the catcher with a little grin. It says, so now 10 strikeouts. He's in double digits.
Definitely. And you talked about this being a pitcher who has a very high strikeout count.
Yeah, he's been known to run it up there. 12 strikeouts is not something he's unused to.
And Bahama is coming in there with big hacks.
Cooper's he's trying to get all back in one swing of the bat. There's no 4-run home run if there's nobody on base. And again, nothing doing. Takes a look at the catcher's glove. Yes, that's the ball right there, my friend.
This may be another 1, 2, 3 inning for Pedro. And we'll know right now. And he fouled that one off to stay alive.
And that was a desperation hack. He said, oh, this is a strike. I better try to do something with it. Nothing in 2, the count to Cooper with 2 outs. And just does get a piece. Pedro's mad at himself. He's mad at himself, too. He thought he had him. Pedro wants another strikeout.
So strategic pitching happening there.
Oh, 2.
The catcher telling him, let's go. Bring it to
they're going to go away.
Yeah, they're going to the outside. See if he gets him.
And again,
and it was directly on the outside of it, but Cooper managed
Cooper was
to
looking
swing.
for it, just managed to get some of it. Staying alive like the Bee Gees.
You know, the pitchers on this field is able to put their hand in the dirt and dry things up. That was not happening on the turf.
A little soft grounder to the third baseman, throw over in time, and just like that.
So
well, the good news is they didn't strike out. So bad news, though, they come up empty. They leave a runner stranded, and our score remains 6-2 as we move to the bottom. Is that the ball game? It is.
It is the ball game.
That is ball game. Time runs out, and Long Island comes back to win this one 6-2. Our final score in favor of the Sheep Runners. Pedro Marcelo, 10 strikeouts on the day. We'll have a word with them in just a few short moments here. As Ramiko's going to break out the track speed and hustle on down to field side. I love the camaraderie aspect. Everybody going down, high fives, and miss this, man. We really miss this, especially during COVID. Sports is back. As the Long Island Sheep Runners take down Grand Bahama, the Lucayans. No solutions for Pedro Marcelo. He tallies 10 strikeouts and records a win. Mentioned this pitching is something that if you have it, in particular in fast pitch softball, if you have good pitching, you can win some ball games. The only runs coming for Grand Bahama, Angelo Watson, a leadoff double, ends up scoring on a pass ball. And then later on in the game, the home run. The solo shot from the cleanup man. Clinton Rowe. Larry Russell, got a home run. So we are good to go here for Grand Bahama. Well, that is Long Island. Not so good to go if you're Grand Bahama. You got to go, but it's not good. They blow a 2-0 lead. And kudos going to the Sheep Runners of Long Island as they tally up a victory. It is festivities, festive action going on. For the folks here at the stadium, you see the crowd starting to build up here in the early afternoon, despite the hot conditions. And we'll be ready to go down to Ramiko, who is standing by with Grand Bahamas coach in just a few short moments. But in the meanwhile, like we mentioned, it has been one of those outstanding softball games, which we have come to expect here in these Bahama games. Sheep runners now in the win column with a win. And I think that's Coach Marty Fox down there with Ramiko. And we'll allow Ramiko to take over in a few short seconds there, but if you're just joining us, Long Island went down 2-0 early on, kept fighting, and able to get 5 runs to go up by a score of 6-2, and that ends up being our final here this afternoon. I don't envy those out there that have to be in this sun right about here, and that's why I keep saying, you know, I tip my cap to the umpires and the officials who have to withstand this heat repeatedly over and over again, because they got a break between games, but they got to go right back down there. You got to put that gear on and head on back into the sun. Stay on top of your game, stay hydrated, and make sure you call the correct calls. That is, people take it for granted, but officiating is key. So let's go down to Ramiko Knowles standing by with the coach from Long Island, Marty Fox. Ramiko?
That's right, Marcella standing by with head coach for Long Island Sheep Runners, Matty Fox. A big inning for you guys on some errors by Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama led the game 2-0, and you came up on, I think it was the third inning to get those runs, and about 6 runs scored. Talk about the game.
Yeah, we came out pretty good. The guys were hitting. We left quite a few runners stranded in the early innings. We got some breaks, and we took advantage, capitalized on it, you know.
I mean, you say capitalize on those breaks. What are some of the challenges you see for your team going forward?
I would say they just need to focus, you know. The offense came off a little flat, but once we got our offense going there, made them play the ball, made some errors, you know. So I think we're getting it going. We got one game behind us, so we're good to go.
And that's your first win for the day. And so Pedro Marcelo, 10 strikeouts. Talk about it.
Yeah, he came out smoking today, you know. He was on his game, and he was looking forward to this, you know, from all the controversy last night. So we had to get this first win. If we want to move on, this is important.
And Long Island will it be the team to watch throughout the rest of the series?
Well, that's the plan.
Well, thank you so much, man. There you have it, head coach for Long Island Sheep Runners, Marcelo. Great game, as he said, 10 strikeouts, and these guys capturing their first win. We're here, more baseball action, or softball action, rather, coming your way. Back to you, Marcellus.
All right, thanks a lot, Ramiko. Still down there at the Andre Rogers baseball diamond in his mind, I guess. And he did a lot of baseball with Ricardo all week long, so I guess it is tough to make that transition. Still the same diamond. The base splits are a little bit closer, though, which is good for these runners right about now. But a good victory here for the Long Island Sheep Runners, taking down the squad from Grand Bahama 6-2, 10 strikeouts, Pedro Marcelo, and all the action happening for Long Island in that third inning, which was when they were able to come from behind, trailing 2-0 early on, able to tally 6 runs. And we'll be right back, though. A lot of softball still to come here at the Bankers Field.